We're back with your second, not really rumour mill, confirmed mill maybe of the day. We're speaking earlier on about Leeds United maybe getting on with stuff this week. Is this going to be the point of movement for Leeds United? We've been talking about the ratification of the EFL, the green light from the EFL. When will this happen? Well, it looks like the cogs are turning, the wheels are moving a little bit for the Whites as they look set to confirm the first summer signing of the window. What an interesting one it is. Ethan Ampadu joins. It looks like he's going to be joining from Chelsea with no buyback clause. Clauses in the contract, but no buyback clause. An excellent piece of business there from Leeds United. We know the top clubs love to put a buyback clause when they're selling to lesser clubs in this country, and it does, I think, cause a little bit of problems. We've seen it at the minute. City are testing out the waters with Romeo Lavia, and they could get him back for something like 30 million when Southampton could actually make 50 million from an Arsenal or a Liverpool. Leeds look to have maybe got this deal done from Chelsea for 7 million, including add-ons. And why am I so impressed with this transfer negotiation? Well, because if the other guy was still here, Victor Orta would have paid 28 million for this guy in the Championship. So it's very exciting, and the reason I'm excited about Ethan Ampadu is I'm not hearing any of this poppycock about he's got how many relegations on his CV. In that case, you'd have said Willian Yonto, Tyler Adams, etc., etc. Crescencio Somerville, Sinistera are all crap because they've got a relegation on the CV. It's absolute tripe. That argument makes no sense whatsoever. He went down with Venezia, he went down with Spezia as well. Two sides who were doomed at the outset, two sides who didn't invest a lot of money into their playing staff. And they were doomed from the start. Spezia are not a massive club, neither are Venezia. You know, they're trying to get there, and it's going to take them season upon season to do that. They're making progress or whatever. But the fact that those two clubs were able to get Ethan Ampadu through the door was a massive, test of character for Ampadu and himself, going to very, very low ebb clubs in Italy, but also testing himself on the continent. And I like that. I'm a massive fan of players, English players, or just, it can be Welsh players, as Ampadu is. It can be Irish players going out and testing themselves, on the European side of things. I think you're able to build experiences, build understandings that you wouldn't just be able to build in the Championship and the Premier League. But by the by, where will Ethan Ampadu play? Well, for me, he's a number six. He's a number six all day long. I think as a centre-back, he's actually limited. I think you take away a lot of his best assets. I think he's a destroyer, an absolute destroyer, a ball winner, someone who anticipates excellently well, and someone who critically, on the ball, in a Daniel Farke system, is going to be able to distribute at will. He's a very, very good player, Ethan Ampadu. And, hence why his time at Sheffield United, when he was such a young buck, he was still picked most weeks. I'm a huge fan of him. I think one of those, when you're actually looking at the targets that we've spoken about when it comes to Nat Phillips, when it comes to Reece Oxford, they're very different profiles. Reece Oxford could definitely go into a DM role, and he's maybe on the versatility slant of someone like Ethan Ampadu. Nat Phillips is a born centre-back, and Nat Phillips is someone who I'd still like us to do. For goodness sake, Reece Oxford is still someone who I'd like us to do. We're going to get onto another little rumour in a little bit, but Ethan Ampadu for a number six role is absolutely fantastic. That's a top signing. It's a top signing. I don't care what anybody says. That arguably is the Championship signing of the window so far. Ethan Ampadu, and I'm talking the value here as well. This is a Premier League footballer. It's a Premier League footballer hands down. And I was expecting, looking at Ampadu this season, for him to go to a Premier League club, maybe a mid-table club, maybe Crystal Palace. I know they're thinking about investing into a new DM. I know obviously West Ham are looking at that as well. And we've got this guy for 7 million rising to 12 million. Now Steinsson, Gretor Steinsson, I believe is how you pronounce his name, is also going to be joining Leeds United from a technical director point of view, a recruitment director point of view. Now, I was never getting on the hype when it came to the Brentford director. The reason behind that, the technical sporting director, was because he'd knocked back two of the top four clubs. That was never going to happen. Why would he come to Leeds United? However, Steinsson's an interesting one. Obviously, he's been at Fleetwood, he's been at Everton, and he's been at Spurs. Now, the Everton and Spurs recruitment side of things haven't been good, but I think they've been ran with a bit of an iron fist when it comes to Daniel Levy and the money that he's going to be investing in and the expectation that the Spurs fans have. And well, with Everton, Mashiri doesn't know what he's doing, Ken Wright doesn't know what he's doing, and I think a lot of pressure will have been put onto those directors to be able to get it right. They ultimately haven't got it right, and maybe that's where some of the criticism for Steinsson is coming, in terms of him just being a yes man to people like Mashiri and people like Ken Wright and Levy. But you've got to be put under the right working conditions, and I'm willing to give this guy a chance. It looks like he's going to be taking the role of technical director. Has he had a big involvement in the Ethan Ampadu signing? If he has, behind the scenes before his role has been confirmed, that's a massive plus point, because Ampadu will be a great player for us, in my opinion. And it's a really good start. And a lot of people are talking about a shrewd acquisition behind closed doors. Leeds already having signings lined up. This is what I was talking about before. Leeds already, before the ratification of the EFL is confirmed, all this sort of stuff, before we get that green light, already having signings lined up. And it looks like Leeds United have got more of those coming, apparently, according to reports. There's rumours online saying Nat Phillips is all but done as well. Not only that, but there's links with Glenn Kamara at Rangers for £5 million. Kamara comes in, once again, he slots in seamlessly. A good player, a good technician on the ball. Somebody, once again, as I keep saying, who's going to fit into Daniel Farke's system. These are all system-based players, which is great, but they've also got that ability to go out of the system and flourish and be a bit adventurous and spontaneous on the ball as well, which we saw from the likes of Mario Vrancic, which we saw from the likes of Tom Tribal, which we saw from the likes of Emi Buendia in that Norwich side. Massively happy if we are to get Glenn Kamara done as well. Now, interestingly enough, that does open the conversation about what's going on with Tyler Adams here. What is Leeds maybe a little bit wary when it comes to his injury. Maybe that's going to take a little bit longer than we all think. And our Leeds a little bit worried in terms of the transfer as well, because money could come for Tyler Adams towards the back end of the window, which I think we all can't be naive to. This could happen with Nonto, it could happen with Tyler Adams, Sinistera, some of it could happen with any of them. The back end of the window is always very, very dangerous, but that's where the 49ers have got to stand strong and they've got to say, look, this isn't happening. But William Nonto, as an example, is someone who doesn't have one of those stupid clauses in his contract, so Leeds can hold strong. It's very, very encouraging that we've rejected 15 million quid. It's very encouraging that we've invested 12 million quid into Ethan Ampadu. It shows at least that Leeds aren't completely skint. So that's positive news, really positive news. And at last, we've got a bit of encouragement when it comes to a new signing. It's massive what a new signing could do. Of course it is. Because, without a new signing, how on earth are you going to get excited about anything? Are they skint? Are there chances? Are we going into the new season with owners that we've had previously who just go into the season and take a risk on everything and they're just there to be a face, to be notorious in another country, being, the custodians of a great football club like Leeds United. So many things to take into consideration prior to this signing, but getting a technical director in on Monday, getting a new signing in on Monday, and it looks like that's set to be confirmed with Ethan Ampadu, reported by The Athletic, reported by Romano, reported by Phil Hay, reported by the Evening Standard, reported by everyone on the Chelsea side as well. Kinsella reporting it first. So that's really, really encouraging. Mike Keegan was saying yesterday that EFL ratification is going to be sorted in the near future. Is that already in there? Has it already been confirmed to Leeds and they're waiting for maybe an official announcement? Has it already been confirmed to Leeds that it's going to be signed, sealed and delivered by Wednesday? If that is the case, then Leeds can get on with signings now. They can start moving right now. And it looks like with the signing of Ethan Ampadu, you've got that process already happening. But like I say, interesting to see the future of Tyler Adams there if they do bring Glenn Kamara and Ethan Ampadu in and they use Ampadu as a 6, which I think Ethan Ampadu, without disrespect, is a better... He's not a centre-back. He is a centre-back. He can play there. He can fill in there. But he's very much of the mould of a number 6 and he can do more. Midfielders, in my opinion, are the most important. I think goalkeepers are huge, of course, but midfielders are the engine. They're the creators. They're the technical merchants in a football team. And I think midfield is so important. You win and lose games in midfield. Ampadu is tenacious. He's physical. He's athletic. His distribution's very, very good. As I say, I'm a massive fan of how he's gone to different countries and sort of tried to apply his trade there. And that might have not have gone as well as he'd have hoped, but he's still got him a move to Leeds United. It's still got him in the conversation with many clubs in the Premier League about maybe going in for him. Leeds has been an attractive proposition. He's always had loans, everybody. Here, there and everywhere with Ampadu, it's been loans. This is actually going to be a proper signing for Leeds United. We're going to get him on a full-time deal and hopefully that makes him settle into the environment which is Leeds United. Glenn Kamara would be a lovely little follow-up. Nat Phillips would be a lovely little follow-up. Steinsson coming in, hopefully the environment for him is going to be a little bit more productive than the environments that have been at Everton and Tottenham, where at points they've been very, very toxic and the environment's probably not been a good one for someone like him to flourish. And hopefully the 49ers are getting this in order. It is late. The season's coming around very, very quickly, but getting a midfield enforcer like Ampadu, can do many other things in that role as the first signing. I think that's a massive positive. Let me know, everybody, what you think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the other side. Cheers.